I'm here today to talk about decolonizing consumption and what that means when it comes to the foods that my family and I eat, as well as the cosmetics, medicines, and material goods that I consume and share with others. My decolonization process has given me alternative ways to consume, so that's what I want to focus my discussion on today, or this discussion on today, sorry. For me, decolonizing what I consume and the way that I consume started with the opportunity to hunt moose. I know that not everybody has access to hunting or the skill to go out and shoot a moose. It's by no means a simple task, and it takes a lot of knowledge, skills, and gasoline and proper gear. But I'm going to speak from my personal experience. The majority of us have very little to no spiritual or cultural connection to the foods or goods that we consume. This is the result of how we exist in 2016. But I've discovered a few ways to resist this disconnection, and I found reconnecting to be super fulfilling and really meaningful. I travel with Dene Sosline people from the Lutsuke Dene First Nation, and the way that I was taught, when we shoot an animal, we plant our feet in the snow or on the moss below us, and we put tobacco down to say thank you. We make sure not to step over any blood, and just to ensure that the animal is given the respect that it deserves, because its life will feed us and give us the ability to tan hides and make jewelry. Sharing the fruits of our labor is also a big part of our harvest. You bring meat home and you share it with elders and with family and friends, and you make sure that your community is fed before the hunter is. When I shot my first moose, I fully understood this lesson. And this is a picture of my first moose. My harvests connect me to the land and to the animals and to the plants who we share the land with, but also with the communities of people that surround me. So food preparation is another big part of how community and family are honored after we have fresh meat in our homes. All the hard work from hauling and chopping and slicing, it's a lot. So afterwards, it's time to celebrate. Meat is cut up and prepared to be hung in the smokehouse or inside above a wood stove like this to dry. Moms, daughters, aunties, and cousins gather to help prepare the meat. Food is an excuse to be together in all cultures. It connects us to each other while we connect more closely to the cultures that we belong to. I also enjoy doing less traditional cooking, which is what this is, using meats that we harvested in a traditional way. And I find that doing this and cooking, this was a ginger muskox soup, and I find doing this to be a lot more exciting than dumping soup out of a Campbell's can. It's a lot more fulfilling and satisfying. Although the animals that we harvest do feed us well, our animals are more than food for our people. They also give us leather and other materials that we can use to practice our cultures and regain some of the control over what we are consuming. For me, this is decolonization in action. And by using materials from the animal and knowing how to prepare them in a traditional way, we connect even more deeply with the life of the animal and of the hunter. All of the parts have a use, as I'm sure you've all heard before. If we aren't going to eat them, then we use them in the process of sewing or tanning hides. And what you see right here is a fermenting brain, which will be used in the process of tanning a hide. Moose are why we are still here today, so this is all a really important process. I've been lucky enough to travel and work with a lot of really patient teachers who have shown me how to prepare and use the materials from our hunts in the way that they were taught by their families. With this knowledge, I've been able to prioritize this kind of connection to the materials that I choose to have around me, as opposed to relying so much on the goods that capitalism provides me with. Besides using the bones for fleshing tools and the antlers for scraping tool handles, like we see here on the ulu, I've found that another way to decolonize what I consume and what I share with others is by making jewelry and using parts of the animals to create artwork with. This has helped me to get to know the animals and their bodies beyond the way that I learned through my traditions, but in a way that is mine and only mine. Everybody enjoys consuming art. You don't have to be indigenous to consume art. So by using traditionally harvested local materials, I feel that I'm able to promote decolonization and respect for harvests and harvesters through the jewelry that I create, which others then consume. And I enjoy being able to facilitate somewhat of a connection between the folks who don't use the land and our local animals. And I'm proud of the fact that I am there to hunt and quarter the animal and tan the hides and eat the animal, and subsequently use the antlers and the horns or the teeth as a way to express my own femininity through jewelry and help others express theirs in a way that also honors my traditions and my protocol. In all of my art, I like to take the traditional methods that I've learned and use them to turn modern design for modern aesthetic, I guess. Whether we're using furs from our trapline or medicines from the ground, our art is always connecting us to our culture, and we are always using our culture to inform the artwork that we create. But sustainable consumption for us is more than just harvesting big game. It's plants and trees, things that are a part of our traditional medicines and our diet. Having knowledge of how to harvest and to prepare these items is a part of my decolonization as well. Berries, flowers, leaves, stems, and pitch, for example. Harvesting plants, berries, and pitch it's a different type of harvesting experience, but one that keeps me connected to my land and culture nonetheless. This is just another way of taking back control over what I choose to consume and also what I share with others, since I have a jewelry line and I sell things online that I make. One thing that I produce often that people seem to really love, I just did a workshop on it at the RPA conference, is the spruce gum salve. When we harvest the spruce, we treat the gum the same way that we would a big game animal, so we put tobacco down and we say thank you. So even when I am kind of trying to think about the beauty products that I'm going to use, I'm thinking about the land. Decolonizing diet and beauty are extremely important to me, and when I practice these things, I find myself feeling happier and more connected and more thankful for what I choose to take care of myself with. And I become thankful for the waters and the trees and the plants around me. And these are the resources that I use and share to promote decolonization. Masi.